Please rise while the colors are posted. And salute. Former Congressman Michael McNulty will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing for our opening prayer led by Brooke Levitt.
Almighty God, you who are the source of our life, strength, and purpose, in your presence alone we find help, hope, and life. Guide us during this hour of fellowship and reflection, be grounded with a healing reminder of your love. To all whose lives be touched this day, for it is in your glory we gather and offer our prayers. Amen.
Please be seated. Good morning. I'm Tim Forbes, the chairman of the Rensselaer County Honor Deceased Veteran Committee. We've gathered here this morning to honor deceased Rensselaer County veteran for the month of October, and that veteran is Michael A. DeBonis. We're honored to have with us this morning his family and friends, which include his wife Kathy, Anthony Abrunza, Kelly Acostine, Rodney Ann Acostine, David Acostine, J.R. Casal, Karen Casal, Lori Christfully, Barbara Finelli, Jean Holmes, Amanda Holmes, Jason Holmes, Thomasine Rapolt, John Santora, and Claire Visk. Thank you all for being here. We have other friends out in the gallery that I didn't get their names. Also with us today to honor our Veteran of the Month is our Rensselaer County Executive, Steve McLaughlin, representing Congresswoman Elise Stefanik, Reed Cronus, Congressman Paul Tonko is here, former Congressman Michael McNulty, New York State Senator Jake Ashby, New York State Assemblyman Scott Bendett. Our Rensselaer County Chairman is going to be Ken Harrington today. He's also in charge of the Veterans Committee and a couple other things. Our Rensselaer County Sheriff Kyle Bergalt's here. Our court judge Deborah Young is here. The commander of the Waterville Elite Arsenal, Colonel Schultz, is here. Also with us is Dan Casale, Mark Fleming, Tom Grant, Lori Kennedy, and Carol Weaver. As we are all aware, Memorial Day and Veterans Day are special days to remember our veterans. This program was created to help us honor our veterans all year round. To us here in Rensselaer County, every day is Veterans Day. The Rensselaer County Honor Deceased Veteran Program represents veterans organizations throughout the entire county. This includes members of the American Legion, the Disabled American Veterans, the Veterans of Lansingburg, the Military Order of Purple Heart, the Marine Corps League, the Veterans of Foreign Wars, the Korean War Veterans, Tri-County Council Vietnam Era Veterans, Combat Veterans Motorcycle Association, the Vietnam Veterans of America, the AMVETS, Crabb Garrison Post 1954, and the Rensselaer County Veterans Service Agency. I will now ask Ken Harrington to come forward and tell us about our honored Veteran of the Month of October, Michael A. DeBonis.
Good morning. Thank you. All the legislature come down, Tom. As he said, I'm Ken Harrington. I'm a majority leader and chair of the Veterans Committee. Our chair and our vice chair couldn't be here today. They're Monday morning folks, but as we changed the day, everybody's schedule was just rearranged. I'm proud to welcome all of you to our monthly Honor of Vet ceremony. Rensselaer County is proud of service of our veterans past and present, and we are proud to honor and remember the lives and service of those brave veterans who are no longer with us. Today we are gathered to honor the life and service of Michael A. DeBonis, a dedicated family man, a veteran, and proud member of his community. Born on September 7th, 1950, in Troy, New York, Michael was the beloved son of Michael T. and Josephine Cassell DeBonis. He grew up alongside his sisters Anne Marie and Lorraine and his brother Donald in Troy, where he attended St. Mary's Elementary School before completing his education at Troy High. On February 24th, 1970, Michael answered the call of service to his country by enlisting in the United States Army. After completing basic training, Private DeBonis specialized in airframe repair at Fort Eustis, Virginia, and furthered his expertise at the Army Aircraft Maintenance Facility in Corpus Christi, Texas. In September of 1970, Michael embarked on a year-long tour in Vietnam, where his technical skills and resilience were put to the test. Working in demanding and often hazardous environments, he played a vital role in maintaining and repairing Army aircraft, ensuring the success of countless military missions. His service and commitment to excellence earned him the rank of Specialist 5th Class Spec 5 and several commendations, including the National Defense Service Medal, the Vietnam Service Medal, the Vietnam Campaign Medal, 2 Overseas Service Bars, the Vietnam Campaign Medal, 2 Overseas Service Bars, and the Sharpshooter Marksmanship Badge with Rifle Bar and M16 Bar, and the Expert Marksmanship Badge with the Grenade Bar. Michael was honorable, and I might say he made Spec 5 in that short period of time. The guy had to be really on the ball. I mean, he knew his work and he knew his job, that's for darn sure. Michael was honorably discharged from the Army on March 23, 1972 at Fort Meade, Maryland. He returned home at a time when many Americans weren't so welcome to returning veterans, to build a life with Kathleen Agostine, who he married on May 4, 1973. Michael and Kathleen were blessed with 2 children, Michael and Lindsay. Michael worked as a skilled carpenter. He was extremely proud of his work. He worked with Rocco Testo for many years and built homes and replaced roofs throughout the area. Michael later worked as a carpenter in the construction department of the Watervliet Arsenal, where he retired in 2000. In addition to his work and family, Michael enjoyed a variety of hobbies, including hunting, playing darts, and mastering the game of corks. He was an active member of the Disabled American Veterans, the North Greenbush American Legion Post 1489, the Emerald Club, and the Crab Garrison Post 1954, where he cherished the companionship and camaraderie of fellow veterans. Michael DeBonis passed away on March 22, 2005, leaving a lasting legacy. He is survived by his beloved wife, Kathy, his parents, his sister, Anne Marie. Though he was predeceased by his children, Michael and Lindsay, as well as his siblings, Lorraine and Donald, Michael's memories lives on in the hearts of all who knew and loved him. Today, as we reflect on Michael's life, we remember his service to his country, his devotion to family, the friendship he forged throughout the years. He now rests in peace at St. Mary's Cemetery in Troy, New York, forever honored for his contributions and sacrifices. Thanks to his wife Kathy and his family and friends for allowing us to remember the life and the service of Michael DeMonis here today. We look forward to placing his name on our Hall of Heroes during our ceremony next year. You'll see the Hall of Heroes there on the wall, and each year a plaque is of all those honored during that year is placed on the wall. So he will be on the 2024 plaque forever. Tom Walsh. Tom had this job of mine for what, 20 years? So Colonel Walsh always is the man who I learned from, I guess, on handling all this, and probably still not doing the job I should be. Go ahead, Tom.
Thank you, Ken. Can you hear me out there all right? My voice hasn't come back yet. And I'm glad to see the family here. It's a good showing for the family. Michael had an important job with the Army, repairing aircraft, the helicopter, especially during Vietnam. That's when they first set up the helicopter for attack helicopters. They use them to actually go after the enemy. I met quite a few of the pilots that flew in them units, and they very important job. And I was glad to see he worked at the arsenal because I worked there too. And we got the arsenal commander here today too. He'll be better honor for you. But I know you lost Michael real young. I don't think he's 55. Yeah, that's too young. I'm 89, so I'm having a hard time getting around, but I'm getting around. But I'm very pleased to be up here today to honor Michael. And like Ken was saying, we'll have him on the wall over here with the other deceased veterans. And next year, at the end of the year, we'll have you back again, and we'll have his name on the plaque. So, well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
I just want to say it's an honor being here, honoring Mike, in front of my family and friends. So thank you for being such an honor.
I'm going to change it up a little bit. Commander, can you come up and join me for a second? Thank you. I've known Kathy for way too many years. I'm not even going to do the math on that. But it's an honor, and I truly mean an honor, to stand here to give you and the family, on behalf of the Crab Garrison number 1954, it is a privilege to present this symbol of thanks and honor for Mike's service, valor, and sacrifice when our country really needed him. Thank you.
You can.
Thank you all. I will now ask Rensselaer County Executive Stephen McLaughlin to come forward.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you, Tim. Good morning, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here this morning to honor Michael. And boy, when you read the bio, it just screams Troy, New York. I mean, everything there is a Troy guy through and through. And as a former airline pilot, I can tell you these things, they break a lot, even when they're not getting shot at. When they're getting shot at, like they were dealing with in Vietnam, he had his work cut out for him, and it looks like he just did a phenomenal job. And the pilots rely on those mechanics because that is their life. I mean, you got to trust that they know what they're doing. And so I'm sure they had a lot of trust in Michael and what he did to get them back in the air. Those were some rough times, flying low, fast, abrupt movements. Those things get beat up, and they were slapping them together very quickly back then to get them going. But he did his duty for the country, and we're certainly appreciative of that. And like we see all the time, came home and went to work and raised a family and did what he's supposed to do. So just seemed like a great guy. And I knew when I saw Danny up there, he's either related to Dan or lived around the corner from Dan, because that's what we get a lot with Danny Casale. With these Troy guys, everybody's connected. That's the beautiful thing about this area, is that everybody's connected. So, and you see you have a great crowd here today. A lot of folks, a lot of legislators, and also Judge Deb Young is out there, and Colonel Jason Schultz, newly installed as commander of the Arsenal. The Arsenal is always here to represent, and we certainly appreciate that. And then Congressman Michael McNulty, who started these way back when, and now these ceremonies, you'll see them picked up around the capital region, and that's all because of the work early on of Congressman McNulty. But we just want to, and then, boy, you see the Crab Club. That's a Troy institution right there. So short life, unfortunately, but a great life, an impactful life. And it looks like he did what he's supposed to do as an American: defend the country, stand up for freedom, and then come back home, raise a family. So we're certainly thankful to have had him here in Rensselaer County and in Troy. So thank you for letting us honor him today. And outside, when you pull in here, you saw that park out there. That is a Veterans Memorial Park that we did. We felt that was very important, that we honor all of our veterans. So we'll go outside after the ceremony and play taps, and then lower and raise the flag. But that park is there to honor all of our veterans. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Stephen. I will now ask Congressman Paul Tonko and Reed Cronus, representing Congresswoman Elise Stefanik, to come forward.
Thank you, Tim, and good morning, everyone. To Kathy and a large number of family members here, so terrific to see. And Anthony, it's an honor to say thank you to your late husband, to pay tribute to his bravery, his courage, his intellect, his training, and undeniable patriotism. And as a airframe repairman, obviously his training proved very valuable. His skill proved very valuable to the efforts in Vietnam, making certain that they were not only repaired, but that they were maintained by his efforts with his colleagues, and certainly making certain that he kept an assessment of those airframes, which together, totally, all that work obviously is understandably a very critical contribution to the efforts made in the military operations in Vietnam. So we thank him for that selfless service. And also to recognize that he left the comforts of home and familiarity of hometown to serve in uniform at a time that was very difficult. We share here, too, the sentiments that often when they returned, these individuals did not receive that hero's welcome. And that tragedy is something that is still spoken to by Americans, as we learned much from that painful experience that was endured by the returning Vietnam service members. So we say thank you this morning in a very special way to an era of veterans that really deserve our humble and total respect. The fact that he came back and, married and raised a family and was true blue to the American Legion, the DAV, and the Crab Garrison post 1954 speaks volumes of his commitment to fellow veterans. And to know that he also contributed his skills to the Water Fleet Arsenal, which is important to note because their work continues to serve our military in a very functional way, in a very important way. So we recognize all of that, that heroism and that service, again, at a very difficult time. In honor of his service, in his memory, in his tribute, I, along with Congresswoman Stefanik, have asked that a flag be flown over our nation's capital, reflecting his true patriotism and his service. And my hope, my prayer is that he rests eternally in the loving arms of his Creator. And with that, I'll present you the flag. Kathy, I don't know, Reed, do you want to say anything?
Thank you, Congressman. Good morning, everybody. I want to say a few things, just keep it brief. Thank you to everybody here in the family in attendance for allowing us to honor Michael today. And I will be presenting on behalf of the Congresswoman a Congressional Record Proclamation that will be submitted into the Congressional Record honoring Michael's life and service. Thank you.
Thank you both. I will now ask New York State Senator Jake Ashby to come forward.
Well, thank you, Tim. Good morning, everybody. It's great to be with all of you this morning. I want to thank all my colleagues in state, local, and federal government for joining us. Congressman McNulty for starting these ceremonies, Colonel Schultz from the Arsenal for being here, and so many of our friends from the community, Crab Garrison Commander, DAV, American Legion members, and of course the family. Thank you for letting us honor him, Michael, today. And in reading his bio, early 70s were a busy time for him. He enlisted in late February of 1970. And, of course, he had to go to basic training, which took time. But he was already out the door to Vietnam in September of that same year. I mean, that's remarkable. And I think that speaks to the demand of his MOS at that time and just how important those airframe mechanics were to the mission that was going on there. The frequency of air travel out there, whether it was for close air support, as Colonel Walsh alluded to, or for medevacs, were critical. Having people over there like Michael to repair the aircraft was essential for so many to survive. So I think about that in just his short time over there. How many lives did he save because of his job? How many people did he protect because of that? The operational tempo at that time was pretty high. So you think about what he endured and what he did during that time. And then when he came back, He got married pretty quick, started a family, and just continued to serve. Continued to serve through all the organizations that he belonged to and set the standard for his family and those traditions. It's a remarkable story, and as was said before, they were not greeted with a hero's welcome when they came back. They endured, I think, an unimaginable reception home. And I'm so grateful for our Vietnam veterans because it was they who welcomed us home, a new generation of veterans, knowing full well what they encountered should never have happened and made sure that it didn't happen for us. So I want to say thank you to Michael. I want to say thank you to all the Vietnam veterans for doing that and helping so many. And I want to say thank you to the family for letting us honor him today. I do have a proclamation from the New York State Senate. Thank you for letting me be a part of it.
Thank you, Jake. I will now ask New York State Assemblyman Scott Bendett to come forward.
It's really always an honor and a privilege in this job to be able to come and honor our veterans and service members. It really, truly is. It's probably one of the best parts of the job. And when I think about Michael, I think about everybody else running away.